Think about how effortlessly you navigate your morning commute. You make dozens of spatial decisions on complete autopilot. But open up a new app on your smartphone, and the experience turns to instant friction when you can't find a simple menu button. Cognitive neuropsychologist John Whalen spent years researching this disconnect. In his book, Design for How People Think, he outlines why we struggle to navigate digital environments. He outlines his core concept, the 6 minds of experience. It illustrates that a user's experience doesn't happen on a screen. It's stitched together by 6 distinct cognitive processes working simultaneously. For this investigation, we will isolate just one: wayfinding. This is the brain's internal compass, the biological system we use to understand where we are and move around. The core tension of modern UX design comes down to this: we are forcing ancient, hardwired biological hardware to navigate flat digital screens. Physical wayfinding works because we compute 3-dimensional space by relying on tangible breadcrumbs. We look for highway signs, airport gate numbers, and physical trail markers to orient ourselves. Imagine navigating a sprawling shopping mall without a map. You rarely panic. You rely on visual cues, architectural layouts, and depth perception to figure out the location of exits, escalators, and anchor stores. Whalen uses the analogy of an ant in the desert computing its exact path home. Our ability to map space isn't learned software. It is a hardwired biological trait. We see the results when the physical rules of space are broken. Consider modern elevators that remove the floor buttons from inside the car and replace them with a central touchscreen in the lobby. This setup frustrates passengers because it violates a stored mental script. We have a specific expectation of how to move from point A to point B in an elevator, and the touchscreen breaks that spatial logic. Humans never enter an environment as a blank slate. We constantly project our spatial expectations onto our surroundings to figure out where we are. Then we switch to a smartphone. Flat, 2-dimensional digital interfaces strip away almost all of the physical landmarks and 3D depth cues our brains rely on to orient themselves. The wayfinding mind is suddenly blind. Subconsciously, it starts trying to answer 2 basic questions: where am I? And how do I interact to move forward? To bridge this gap, we try to apply physical world stereotypes to digital searches. Say you're on a furniture website looking for a high-end chair. If you can't immediately find a button labeled chair, your wayfinding mind attempts to locate a broader digital room, a category like living, because that matches how you organize physical furniture in your house. If the website's layout doesn't perfectly match that hidden expectation, you hit a digital dead end. When a user gets lost on a website, it has nothing to do with their intelligence. The interface has simply failed to translate its architecture into the user's hardwired spatial map. To fix these digital dead ends, designers have to abandon their own assumptions. They conduct empathy research, observing users directly in their natural context to see exactly where they get stuck. Researchers focus on specific friction points, the workarounds, the confusion, and the unexpected clicks, to reverse engineer how the user thinks the virtual space should work. This row of sticky notes represents the raw data output. Each note categorizes a distinct user finding. Look at the wayfinding failures captured here. One user couldn't find the Save for Later feature. Another looked for a cart while the interface used a shopping bag. By plotting these exact moments of friction, designers can create a blueprint of the digital landmarks their users were subconsciously looking for. The ultimate goal of cognitive UX design is to use that blueprint. It's about strategically placing digital trail markers and clearly marking entrances and exits to fulfill the wayfinding mind's expectations. This is entirely different from standard design. A clean aesthetic means nothing if the underlying spatial logic repels the user's attention. By using the 6 minds framework, design decisions move from subjective debate to biological evidence. We stop fighting against our own evolutionary biology. By honoring the brain's physical expectations in a virtual world, we build digital experiences as intuitive and effortless as walking through your front door.